Welcome, fellow knowledge seekers. Today we embark on a journey through the mind of Arthur Schopenhauer, a philosophical heavyweight whose insights continue to resonate. We're diving into his treatise, The Art of Always Being Right. This isn't about bulldozing your way through every debate. It's about understanding the subtle art of rhetoric, of constructing arguments that are not merely persuasive but truly insightful. Let's get started. Schopenhauer kicks things off with an intriguing metaphor, the spring rule. Imagine a spring recoiling when you try to compress it. He argues that encountering strong opposition often triggers a similar reaction in people. They become more entrenched in their views, making rational discourse near impossible. The takeaway here is to avoid being the spring. Instead, cultivate intellectual humility, the understanding that you might be wrong, and a willingness to adjust your views accordingly. Schopenhauer reminds us that none of us are immune to error. We all carry biases and blind spots. The key is to embrace criticism as a tool for growth. When someone challenges your ideas, resist the urge to get defensive. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Schopenhauer delves into the contentious world of academia with this rule. He observes a common pitfall: dismissing ideas simply because they originate from perceived opponents. Instead, he urges us to engage with ideas on their own merit, regardless of their source. Remember, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Chapter 4, The Self-Reliance Rule. Schopenhauer encourages us to develop our own arguments and avoid simply parroting the opinions of others. True understanding comes from grappling with ideas ourselves. By designing and constructing our own arguments, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities involved. Besides, if something goes wrong, at least we'll know how to fix it. Chapter 5, The Confidence Game. Schopenhauer tackles the role of confidence in argumentation. He argues that conviction in your own ideas can be incredibly persuasive. Schopenhauer isn't advocating for blind faith in your own infallibility. Instead, he's highlighting the importance of presenting your arguments with clarity and conviction. Chapter 6, The Adaptability Principle. In a universe constantly in flux, clinging rigidly to our beliefs can be a recipe for intellectual stagnation. Schopenhauer reminds us that the ability to adapt our thinking in light of new information is crucial for intellectual growth. Think of it like navigating a spacecraft through an asteroid field. You need to be constantly adjusting, recalibrating, and sometimes even making complete U-turns to avoid disaster. Don't be afraid to change course when the evidence demands it. Chapter 7. Schopenhauer revisits the theme of intolerance, highlighting its insidious nature. He argues that intolerance can manifest in subtle ways, often masquerading as righteous indignation or intellectual superiority. Embracing intellectual humility means acknowledging that other perspectives, even those we find disagreeable, can offer valuable insights. Chapter 8. Schopenhauer stresses the importance of grounding our arguments in reason and logic. He cautions against relying solely on emotional appeals or appeals to authority. The goal isn't simply to win an argument, but to arrive at a deeper understanding of the issue at hand. Chapter 9. Schopenhauer recognized the link between physical well-being and intellectual acuity. He uses the metaphor of vitamins to highlight the importance of nourishing both our bodies and minds. A balanced diet, regular exercise, and adequate sleep are essential for optimal cognitive function. If you want to win arguments, make sure you're fueling your brain power properly. Chapter 10. The Hollywood Effect. Schopenhauer observes that people are often more persuaded by appearances than by substance. He compares this phenomenon to the world of acting, where charisma and stage presence can overshadow true talent. The way we present our ideas, both verbally and non-verbally, can significantly impact their persuasiveness. It's worth paying attention to our communication style, body language, and overall demeanor when engaging in intellectual discourse. Chapter 11, The Criticism Crucible. Schopenhauer reminds us that criticism, while often uncomfortable, is an essential catalyst for personal and intellectual development. Think of criticism like a blacksmith's forge. It's through this process that we shed our impurities, strengthen our resolve, and emerge as sharper, more resilient versions of ourselves. Chapter 12. The Respect Imperative. Schopenhauer emphasizes the importance of treating others with respect, even when we disagree with them. Resorting to personal attacks or ad hominem arguments is not only intellectually dishonest but also ultimately counterproductive. The goal is to engage in a productive exchange of ideas. Chapter 13. Schopenhauer acknowledges the power of collaboration in this rule. Working together, even with those who hold different viewpoints, can lead to more robust and nuanced understanding. Think of it like assembling a team of astronauts for a mission to Mars. The same principle applies to intellectual endeavors. Chapter 14. Schopenhauer revisits the theme of self-confidence, but with a twist. He cautions against becoming overconfident, arguing that arrogance can blind us to our own flaws and make us less receptive to new ideas. We need enough confidence to assert our views, but not so much that we become intellectually inflexible. Chapter 15. Schopenhauer reminds us that the only constant is change itself. Clinging rigidly to our beliefs in the face of new information is a recipe for intellectual stagnation. Think of it like trying to navigate by the stars in a universe where the constellations are constantly shifting. We need to be willing to adjust our course when the evidence demands it. Chapter 16. The Tolerance Imperative. Schopenhauer emphasizes the importance of tolerance in navigating a world of diverse perspectives. Intolerance breeds division, while tolerance fosters understanding and collaboration. Tolerance allows us to see beyond our differences and recognize our shared humanity. Schopenhauer acknowledges that we all make mistakes. The key is to learn from them rather than being paralyzed by shame or regret. Each mistake provides valuable information that helps us refine our understanding and make better decisions in the future. Schopenhauer revisits the importance of respect, emphasizing its role in fostering productive dialogue. When we treat each other with respect, we create a space where ideas can be freely exchanged and scrutinized without fear of personal attacks. The goal of intellectual discourse is to arrive at a deeper understanding of the truth. Schopenhauer concludes his treatise by emphasizing the power of cooperation. By working together, sharing our knowledge, and embracing diverse perspectives, we can achieve far more than we ever could alone. By embracing cooperation, we tap into a collective intelligence far greater than the sum of its parts. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Schopenhauer's insightful rules. Mastering these principles isn't about becoming an argumentative know-it-all. It's about honing your critical thinking skills, communicating your ideas effectively, and engaging in meaningful dialogue with others. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more enlightening content.